CSS animations are a great way to create engagement with your user by creating interaction, whether it is that when we roll over some element or whether it is like continuously, like we're going to do in this particular example where our funny character here dances, and we're going to see what it is that we can do for us to roll over, for instance, the glasses, and then it moves. And so transform property, then CSS transition, and then CSS animation. Those are the three things that we will see in this tutorial. So I have a sample here. I have a very simple code here with all of my things set up. What do I have here? I have a simple animation with my character that inside is HTML tag, embed the character itself and the glass that he have in his hand, so that way I can move the glass separated from the rest of the character. And then I have a background image on the background. It's stretched. First, we're going to see what is transform. Okay, well, I'm going to try to take the glass of the character and transform it, make it bigger, wider, rotate it, whatever. So I have my character here. I have a glass in his hand. When I see my CSS property, is my property's ID, name is glass. ID, class, they're the same. It's just that whenever I see ID, I have to call the property with a hashtag, and whenever I see the class, I have to call the property with a dot in front. So let's say I want to transform this glass. See here, I have my glass, hashtag glass, and I want to transform my glass. So I want to make it, I don't know, bigger. Well, I can go with width and height. You know that width and height, those are two different properties. Well, that make it like wider and taller. Well, transform, for instance, would allow me to have only one property, which will be scale, and it will be more easy because that way I could just make my glass 200% bigger. And then if I'm looking at my CSS here and I refresh, then my glass will be 200% bigger in width and in height. And then I don't have to play and hack the code so that my margins are okay on the top, on the left. It's much more easy to go that way. There's tons of property that you can change with that. I suggest the CSS, the W3 school, so you can see that, for instance, there's the rotate here. So whenever I want to do, if I put another transform rule, and I can have them one on top of the other. So for instance, if I put rotate here, and this will be in degrees. So if I say, I don't know, 90 degree here, my glass will flip, will do a 90 degree rotation. See, easy, cheesy, busy. Okay, so those are the transform rule. So easy to follow. Now, what I want to do is, if I want to roll over my glass and then have it transform. Okay, so you know that, right? You know that. I'll just go and I'll have to create a new rule. So let's say I'll copy this one, so like that it will be easy here, right? And in front of glass, I just go column and hover. And then in the hover, of course, I will list only the property that change. Okay, so transform, for instance, and then I will take it out of my, initial element. Following me? So then my glasses is straight, and when I roll over it, it is changing in size. So let's close that because it's disturbing. So this is like hover, out of the hover, hover, out of the hover. Okay, you following? Good. So now it's like when I'm hovering, become bigger, but it's like really too sudden. I would like that to transition. So transitioning, what it will do is it will create a curve, right? It will take the force, like the movement of making it bigger, and then over time it will go gradually over this curve. Okay, which is by default linear curve with a bit of ease, so you'll see a little transition. So let's try that. So in order to do that, I have to come back in my element, right? And then I will put my transition property into that. So I'll go in my initial element because transform is there. It's when I hover. Good. Okay. So good so far. Okay. So whenever I just go transition here, okay, CSS understand that he will take initial state and origin state, and he will do a transition in between the two, and this transition will be like ease. It will be like smooth. Okay, so there is a lot of transition property here. For instance, so I can go, well, first my transition property. What do I want to transform? Okay, so let's go and I say, well, you know what, I'm gonna transform everything that has to be transformed in the property. Okay, so this is my first thing. I could also go scale, just like, okay, this is scale. This will be maybe more easy for understand at first. So I'm transforming scale. Okay, good. Then how long will that be? Okay, so let's go and I say transition duration, for instance, here. And let's say I go 1 second, just 1s. So far, you're gonna see that there will be a difference. So when I roll over, it becomes bigger over 1 second. When I go out, it will come back in over 1 second. Over, out. I can also go 0.5 second. This is like 0.5 second. So then it will go in like 0.5 second, much more faster. Or I could go 500 millisecond, so 500 ms. So this is the same, but it's like half, if a fraction of a second. Okay, so those are the main element that you want to put up, but there's also a lot of different element that you want to put here. So for instance, you've seen that it was smooth. So by default, it's like putting force in the middle, so it creates that kind of curve, like a mountain. Okay, so like initial, it's regular, then it's like, okay, a little bit stronger, and then it's like a little bit lower. So let's say I want to have like here transition. I want to have all. I want it to be like strength in the beginning and then slowly at the end. I can go with transition timing function, and then I'll go like, I don't know, ease out. Okay, so ease is by default. Ease in and ease out will be strong at the beginning, strong at the end, and normal in the middle. And if I go with ease out, let me put that like a little bit longer so that you can see the difference here. Okay, so let's 2 seconds. Seconds are long, you'll see that seconds, it can be long. So like here, whoop, okay, and you see that the strength of the animation was all at the beginning and then less at the end. If I go ease in, for instance, it will be the opposite. Ease in here, whoop, ease in, strength to the beginning, less at the end. Ease in here, less at the beginning, less at the end. I can also go and customize that trick here. I can go and say, I would like my glass to be, I don't know, like strong, then less strong, and then strong, and then less strong. That will be with a Bezier curve, okay? Cubic Bezier here. So, and I have a lot of pre-made Bezier curve. I have 3 dots, so it's kind of separated the movement in 3, in the start, in the middle, and then in the beginning, and then it's percentage of the force here. So for instance here, there we go, I refresh, I roll over, you see that it was slightly different. If I want to customize that, I can just go inspect the element here and see in my code here, I have a little curve here. So if I play with that curve, for instance, I'll create different stuff with my glasses here. So see here, the strong was like, it was a lot of strong at the beginning, a lot of strong at the end, and almost nothing in the middle. If I want to go like all in here, I go here, all in, go up here, all in, all in, all in, all in. So you can play with that. You can play with that. There's also this website here that's called Cubic Bezier, and you can edit the curve you want, and then you can just go and compare the two movement, ease out, ease in, and you can just go and compare what it is and play with the curve that you have and just customize your curve and see what are the differences in the different movement. Just keep in mind that whenever you have a curve that go up and down like that, it will be like I'm going, I'm coming back, I'm going, I'm coming back. You may need this movement at a moment or another in your animation. So those are the 3 CSS property. But what you can do, you can just like not have it that here. You can just have, for instance, all of them in one shorthand, because shorthands are cool. And the short one being transition here, and then all, because I want all of my property to be changed. And then my second parameter will be my my duration. So let's say I have, or whatever, I had 2 seconds here, and then it was, let's say I don't want to put my Bezier curve again and all that, please. So ease in, for instance, and oh yes, there was the delay. Let me put it there. So transition delay at the end, if I add a value, so for instance 0.5 here second, what will it do is my transition here will wait 0.5 seconds before it trigger. 0.5 and then it trigger. I go out 0.5 and then it trigger. Let's exaggerate that so that you can see the difference here. So if I just go and I move that here, 0.5 here, and then I just go, I wait a second, I wait a second and then come back. Okay, so now let's make this character dense. So in order to have an element that plays like forever or for a limited amount of time, or also to build a complex movement, like something that, let's say I want my character to dance, that means that you will need to rotate, but then sometimes rotating 50%, 50 degree, then 90 degree, then 90 degree back, and then then maybe up also in the loop, that at this percentage of the moment. And also to allow me to say maybe like, okay, play and then finish at this state, don't come back to where you are. You have to use the keyframe and the rule animation. It's not that different, but it's another thing. We'll see. So I have this character here. I have already explained to you, like, then I roll over, then I roll out, I roll over, then the transition load, and then I roll out, and then the transition like rewind right to this back state. This is all it can do, and it's on rollover, meaning that you cannot like stay forever or for like 3 times. I cannot like roll over and say play it 3 times unless this implies more coding. So I will like my character here to dance. So let's go ahead and do that. So in order to do this, I will go here and I will go and I will start a keyframe here. A keyframe here. This is the rule. So I have to give it a name. Okay, so for instance, dance. It's like JavaScript. It's like a function. Okay, so and then I'll just I'll open the brackets here, and I'll start my keyframe sequence. So then I could say like at 0% this will happen, at 10% this will happen, at 20% this will happen. I did one in advance because I'm a bit lazy here. That is actually a dancing, because it's like 0%, then okay, no rotation. Okay, so like at 0, when it start, I have 0%. Then okay, it translate on the X, so it move a little bit, but on the X axis, and then it rotate a little bit, and then translate, so move a little bit, 20 pixel on the X axis, but in positive value, so it will slide, and then it will also become a little bigger. And so you see, it's like a little dance that stay from 0 to 100%. So I have my function there that I can basically apply to anything in my document object model here. But let's say because we want to do something fun here, I'll just go and take my character, like the full character here. You see in my HTML, like my mensch all, it include the glass and the mensch. Okay, so go in. All right. Okay, so I want my mensch all because I want the whole thing to move. Okay, so mensch all, and then I just open my brackets and my curly bracket. And then I'll just go and I'll put an animation here, like transition. It's like animation here, and it's a little bit of the same parameter. Okay, it resembles. You see, so okay. So my first parameter will be the name of this dance here, the name of my keyframe set of things. So okay, so my name, the name of that is dance. Then here, yeah, how long will it stay? Like 2 seconds, for instance. Okay, like the whole jitter, because it can play forever. But this here, from 0 to 100%, like how long will it take? 2 seconds to complete one loop. Okay, so that means that at 1 second of time, it will be half in between 40 and 60%. Okay. And yes, and then yeah, and then I want it to complete and then come back. So then if I want it to be infinite, I just write infinite here. I'll show you later on that it can a lot can go here, a lot of different thing can go here. And then is it like, should I apply an ease to that? You know, we've seen like the Bezier animation with ease. We've seen a lot of things. So let's say I'm just wanted to ease in and out. So I want to start with a lot of forces, stable, and then a lot of forces at the end. And so yeah, that should be it. If I refresh my stuff, see he is using that little dance. He is dancing because he is following that. So that means that at 0%, you know, he's like that, then 20, then 40, 60, 40, 80, 100. And then it kind of loop like that back and forward. And it just played the loop. If you know, I want this to play just one time, it's possible. You know, you just go here, like our character to let's say that we like our character to move, but then finish at his final position. So I've played a little bit with my code here. I had it finish at 90 degrees. So if we look at the animation here, it's infinite. So it do its dance, then 90 degree, then come back to 30, and then 5, and then, you know, this is like infinite. So if I would like him to finish like horizontal at 90 degree, it's this parameter here, the infinite character. Instead of saying infinite, for instance, I could say forward. So if I go with forward, yes, here. If I say forward here, and then if I refresh, it played the loop, and then at the end, he stopped, and that's it. You know, I could go with backward. Backward, it will start like that and end at the beginning. Okay, so just here, like backward here. If I just save that here, see, I'll just refresh. You see, he started horizontally, and so he started by the end, and yeah, so there's both also. If I said both, then here, if I said both, it will kind of do both of them. Is the different parameters. So it goes here, finish at his end position, but you know, starting from the starting for the end, because the other one forward was just like playing from top to bottom and then stopping at the end. This one, yeah, start from the reverse over, and then you could also just like do an iteration count. Like if I say just, I don't know, 3 times, I want my character to play 3 times. If I just wrote 3 like that, he'll go and he'll do 1 time, then 2 times, and then 3 times, and that's it. So that could be like in advertisement, for instance, if you have a banner and you just want it to play like 3 times, not like forever, because it could be disturbing to the eyes. You can play with that here. I've covered like most of what it is to know with keyframe, and that's most of what I know about that. So, oh yeah, one last thing here. There's the delay. Here, remember, like in transition, you can have a delay at the end. So before the animation start, let's say I put a 2 second at the end, the last parameter is delay. So if I refresh here, for instance, 1, 2, and then it go and do this 3 times. So those are all the parameter of my my animation. So at first you put just like what it is to remember is really that you, oh no, there's one last thing. There's one last thing you see, because see, yes, here, my rollover, when my character is dancing, yeah, the rollover is hard to get, since here we go, and animation play state pause. So that means that you roll, but once I'm over you, you stop. Okay, so so then I'm capable of going to my rollover and have it play. And now, yeah, so now I can play with that. It's not a super exciting gameplay, but you probably have a lot of imagination that can go over that. And then when I just like, I'm out, it just loop forever. So, it's like just knowing that you could have like interesting gameplay, interesting experience on your an engaging interface, or you could just like go plainly and just apply like hover to some images, and there's one tutorial, just look, but in just the tutorial next to this one in the playlist, there's one that have the over text like that, but it's a combination of CSS and JavaScript, but it's simply that, and then the combination also of filter, because in the transition you could put filter. There's a lot of different filter like drop shadow, blur, opacity, etc., etc. So you got it all, I think. So it's your turn to do some amazing content.